talk about. We're gonna go into this beehive. I just combined a couple of new colonies that I pulled for clients. We're just gonna make sure that they accepted the mated queen that I introduced to them. Thank you. So we're pulling frames. We wanna make sure that we pull the skinniest frame first, just to ensure we don't squish our queen. And that looks like this frame to me. This is a nice new built out foundation. And we actually have something funny right here. That is a queen cup. We have royal jelly in it. So that makes me think they didn't accept their queen. But that being said, she could still be in there. I'm gonna get rid of it because I want to introduce one of my own queens if they didn't accept this one.
And you know that's a queen cup because it protrudes off of the...
Yeah, so it kind of comes off and it's bell shaped.
Yeah.
And then you can see there's royal jelly in here too,
And
which is really good for you.
Excellent,
And,
yes.
We love royal jelly, so we'll clean that up. That's actually really good royal jelly.
Nice.
Let's see what they're doing on this frame. So we're looking for eggs. Just trying to make sure that she's laying. And so far, I don't see any. We got nice capped honey up here. We're coming into the basswood flow actually really soon, which is very exciting. Do you want to hold one?
Sure.
Yeah. There you go. So the
That's
basswood
heavy,
flow
too.
is going to fill up like an entire box of honey.
And that's brood.
Yes, this is capped brood in the middle. You see they have another cup here. So I don't think they accepted their queen. Which happens sometimes. They just don't want that queen. Again, like I said, so this is a combination of a few colonies that I put together that were just like one frame left of bees. In order to make sure that they turn into a full colony, I just combined all of those together, and then I introduced a mated queen from another small colony. So sometimes when you do that, they get all jumbled up and they'll just start making their own queen from whatever brood that they have. At least they have some brood in here so they can keep growing.
Now, Terry, is that another queen cap or is that a drone cap?
So
No, on this frame right here.
It's a
Oh.
cup.
that, it is another cup. You're right, good eye. There's nothing in it though. So that cup could have had an egg in it if there was a queen and they wanted to swarm. This colony is not at swarming potential yet.
What is swarming potential? Like, what signs do you look for to think, uh-oh, I'm gonna lose this?
So if you open up your hive and they're like pouring out, or for instance there's bearding on the front of your hive,
Yeah.
that means that they're very, very full. They're trying to have bees on the outside of the hive so that the temperature stays regulated on the inside. If there's too many bees on the inside, then they overheat their brood. And they want to
so,
keep it
yeah.
at an exact temperature of 34 degrees Celsius.
And it sounds like an air conditioner.
Yeah, when they actually swarm, it does sound like an air conditioner. You're right. Wow, they've made so many of these. So I actually have a bunch of queens inside. Do you maybe want to grab those queens?
Where are they?
They're sitting on my table in the front. Just grab
the
all of
house?
them. Yeah,
There
in
she
the
is.
house.
You want me to bring all of
Oh,
them in this heat? I should
Yeah.
just bring a couple.
No, bring all of them because we're gonna put attendants in them.
Okay.
They're all by themselves right now.
So this guy right here, is that a drone?
Yeah, that is a drone bee.
Okay.
Drone bees are so nice. I love drones.
And they're just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, so they're bigger. They have bigger eyes. The reason they have bigger eyes is because they need to see the queen in order to mate. They don't have a proboscis long enough to actually forage any nectar.
Yeah.
All they do is eat the nectar that the girls bring in.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of like real life, isn't
No.
it?
My man cooks for me.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll toss this guy right back where we found it. So unfortunately they didn't accept their queen, but like I said, that's okay. I've got a bunch of queens inside that I grafted earlier. They all actually came out of their cells yesterday, which is pretty exciting. I love when little baby queens come out. So we can do some shots of putting attendants in those cages for the queens too. Put this back together, give them a queen, and then we leave them alone and we let her mate. It should be about 10 to 11 days.
Once you put that queen in there.
Once I put the queen in, yeah, it'll take her about 10 to 11 days to get out and mate, and that's all depending on the weather. So hopefully around the 7th to 10th day, our weather is really nice. And I'm constantly checking the weather network. I wonder what our weather is going to be like in the next 10 days.
So now you'll put that queen in here in a wee queen box.
Yep, in a queen cage.
In a queen cage, and then they got to eat
the queen candy. Yeah,
to
which
let
is
her
just
out?
honey and icing sugar.
Gotcha. And then it takes so that's usually what, a couple of days?
Sometimes it can be like 24 hours. It depends on how strong the colony is that I'm putting her into. So this one, I would imagine it's going to be about 24 to 30 hours.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then once she is introduced to the hive, that's when you find out whether they accept her or whether they don't.
Yes.
And it takes 10 days for her to
go out and mate before she starts laying
So does she
eggs.
mate with a drone?
Yes. Yeah.
So then, is it a drone from this hive?
It could be any drone.
Any drone.
Yeah, so what the drones do is when a queen goes out on her mating flight, drones from multiple different hives are all going to go and try to find her. So a lot of them will be flying around anyways, and they've actually done studies that have shown that there's like drone congregation areas. So there's like, they're like drone nados.
Oh,
They just
really?
go around in circles and they just wait, and that's why they got those big eyes. They just
Yeah.
wait till they see a virgin queen flying around, and then it's like game on. They're all flying after her, and the fastest one, she'll fly up super, super high. The fastest one and the one that can fly the highest is the one that's going to get to mate with her. But it's not just one, it's multiple. She will have multiple mates.
Yeah. And
They
then
say
once
she can fly up to 18,000 feet.
Yeah. She can fly so high. It's
Really?
so cool.
18,000 feet,
And
that's what they say.
that's like part of the test, right? It's like the best, strongest, fastest drone is going to be the one that gets to mate, or a few of them. But
Yeah. And then once they mate, then she's good for the whole season.
yeah, she can
Or could
actually
it be 2
lay for
years?
about 5 years.
Okay.
So
From
queen's
that one
lifespan
mating.
is 5 to 7 years from that one mating. Now she might go on multiple mating flights, so she might go out on say day 5 and then day 10. But typically, like if it's a really nice day and there's lots of drones, which I have lots of drones because I mate queens,
Yeah.
then she will be inseminated enough that she will continue laying for multiple years.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
in your opinion, how long is a queen good in a
So
good hive?
I never have a queen for more than 2 years.
Gotcha.
I would say like her peak is like at first she's a little spotty when she first starts laying. She's just figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
But then she gets really, really good after a couple of weeks, and then she's like at her prime then until I would say end of year 2, and then
Gotcha.
and that's when like I requeen all of my hives every single year because that's part of my varroa management.
Yeah.
I leave them broodless for like a couple of weeks so that they don't have any phoretic mites.
In
the brood.
In the brood.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's very interesting. And then how do you keep your hive together when you take the queen away? 'Cause if you're
So they'll
leaving-
stay with brood.
Oh,
So
they'll
I
stay
always
with-
I leave 3 frames of brood.
Yeah.
They'll stay. They'll take care of the brood, and then 2 days later I'll introduce another queen.
Gotcha. After
and-
that brood hatches?
Nope. So that brood will stay there. The queen will start laying, and then so it takes her 10 to 11 days to start laying.
Yeah.
And then once the brood is about to be capped, that's when I put my treatment in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the rest of the cap brood will have emerged by the time the
Yeah.
next cap brood cycle is about to go down.
And then do you treat it with like strips or?
I do an oxalic dribble.
Oh, an oxalic dribble.
Yeah, oxalic
Okay.
acid and sugar
Oxalic.
syrup. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Have you ever heard of treating for varroa by using mineral oil?
No.
I first become interested in bees probably 25 years ago. I bought a hive. I didn't put any bees in it, but I bought 3 DVDs from an older fella from. Oh, you should get this, Gary.
I am filming it.
Yeah.
We're gonna catch times for all these. This is one of the ones I love. She's really pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why I marked her. She's like a beautiful Italian-looking queen.
Do you want to pull a frame out or?
Yeah, just pull this one out.
So you're putting attendants in there with her.
Yeah, so that they will take care of her. They'll
And
feed
those are
her.
worker bees.
Yes. So
The
mineral
girls that
mineral
do
water.
all of the work.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is so. What he was saying is on the top box only. He had a squeeze bottle, like like the old ketchup bottles you would see at a diner.
Yep.
He had a squeeze bottle full of mineral oil, and he would clean off the top racks very well, and then run a bead of mineral oil across the top of each rack, on the top box only.
Okay.
And his theory was that he could, the bees would step in the oil, and they would start cleaning themselves because they don't like the oil.
It
But-
evokes like a hygienic behavior.
Yes, and they would, if they have Varroa on them, or if the Varroa comes into contact with that mineral oil, because they breathe through their shell,
Yep.
It smothers them.
So oxalic is like a similar principle. Like it suffocates them. It's not a pesticide, right? It's actually organic. You find
Oh,
oxalic
really?
acid in rhubarb plants.
okay,
So it's the same principle, is where it suffocates the mites if it gets on the mites.
yeah,
That's really cool
And it's
though.
a
Mineral
drip.
oil sounds good. Yeah, and it's the same thing. As soon as you said like the squeeze bottle, it's sugar syrup, and you just drizzle it in between the frames. And it does the
Gotcha.
same thing. They start cleaning themselves. It
Yeah.
introduces that hygienic behavior.
yeah,
So it's really neat that mineral oil does like a similar thing. So it sounds nicer than acid, doesn't it?
well, and this was shot in like 2000,
Okay.
2001. So Varroa was fairly new at that time, I think. I think Varroa first came, or they first noticed it in like the early 90s.
I
The
think.
70s.
Yeah, but it wasn't really a problem. Yeah, I think like colony collapse and serious issues started occurring in the 90s.
Yeah.
Um,
So that
That's
was
really
in the
interesting.
year 2000. So there may not even have been the treatment that you're talking about.
yeah, no, oxalic is definitely a newer treatment. I mean, before that, I feel like people were mostly using like formic acid, and that's such a queen killer. Like it's really hard in your bees. You could not put it in your hive on a day like today. If it's hot, it just completely vapors out into your hive, and you'll lose queens.
Yeah, that's so good.
Exactly. And there's a resistance to it too. So there's also a treatment called Apivar, and now that's not working because they're developing a resistance. So when
The
you're
Varroa.
dealing, the Varroa. So when you're dealing with oxalic acid or even your mineral oil, that's not something that Varroa can develop a tolerant or
Yeah, because it's
resistance to,
smothering
sorry.
them.
Yes, exactly. It's not like a pesticide. It's not killing them because it's toxic to them.
It's
just
killing them because it's
suffocating them.
mechanical.
Yes, exactly.
So how many queens do you have here?
30. Which
And
is
you're
too
only
many.
going to introduce one here.
Only one in this hive, yes. But I have another hive over there that is queenless that needs one. All of the hives that I took the nukes from that I sold today, so that's 14 nukes that got sold today.
Yeah.
They're all going to need queens.
Gotcha.
And by doing it this way, like I can keep this queen on my counter for a week. I just give her water every day. I try not to do that. I try to introduce her as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But sometimes the timing of the hives, it's good to have her there when you need her. And
you're putting like 4 or 5 workers in there with her?
yes,
Because
so
they look after her.
yeah, they'll groom her. They will feed her. They're already gonna have like beneficial stuff inside of them that
Yeah.
they can give her, as opposed to just the sugar
Yeah.
queen candy. As much as there is honey in there, and that's good, she still needs royal jelly, so they can feed her some royal jelly. which they excrete out of a gland on their head.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
And the wax comes from their wings?
The wax comes from, it's like the side of their abdomen.
Oh, really?
There's like little slits. It's almost like sweat. So if you have a really good honey flow, sometimes you'll just find flakes of wax at the bottom of your hive because they don't know what to do. They're just like eating so much nectar and eating so much honey, it's just coming out and they don't know where to put it. And it's really interesting. I had a buddy who had a sky hive. He put like an open, there's a swarm up there.
Yeah, look at that, right there.
Oh my God.
You can catch that one pretty easy.
I've caught 2 from that exact spot already.
If you put a box on the ground and just tap the branch, they'll fall right into it.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Oh my God. What are you guys doing? So, I almost wonder if these guys swarmed for some reason when they got a new queen. If they didn't just like not accept her, if they were just like, it's too hot, we're out of here. Sometimes they literally swarm because it's just too hot.
Well, next week it's supposed to be into 40 plus.
I know, I'm putting boxes on absolutely everything this Friday.
Boxes? Like
Like
what do you mean?
supers.
Oh, on
Like
top?
a second brood chamber, yeah. Yeah. So all the mated ones that are doing really well and are really full, I've already put boxes on. But this Friday we're going to check everything to see if a queen's accepted and if she's laying. If she's not, they're getting a new queen, which is why I have these girls on standby. And as soon as they get a new queen, she's going to be in a cage. I can add a second box. It's not going to affect her mating cycle. But if
Gotcha.
I do it, like say the queen is out mating right now and I put a box on top, it might confuse her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then for the nukes that we have,
Yes.
one box is good for
Yes, that's good to start them on,
to
for
start.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I told them. You have to wait till it kind of fills up a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
And I suggested we feed them a little bit of food because now the flowering season's kind of ending a little bit.
So, but you're more north. Basswood's coming. Basswood is like a whole box of honey. That's a really
But
good
I don't
flow.
have any basswood on my property that I know of. I know a neighbor that has some basswood trees about a couple of miles from me.
Well, they fly 5 kilometers.
Yeah,
So is it
yeah, it's under that.
okay? Then they should hit it. Yeah, they'll fly 5 kilometers. They fly like a total of 10 kilometers, but like obviously they have to get home, so they
Yeah.
fly out and then come back.
Well, something I found around my area is, you know, the
Sorry. Delete that part. I'm kidding. It
Okay.
happens, and you know what? At least she's got workers there to make sure she's okay.
Sure.
Virgin queens are actually very durable. It's the mated ones I get concerned about. The only thing on a virgin I'm really concerned about are her wings,
Because they're soft.
because she needs them to go mate.
Ah,
Yeah.
once she's done mating and in the box. And
Some people clip their queens' wings
so
so
they
that they
can't
won't.
leave.
So
Fly
the
away.
swarm will just be right on the ground in front of the hive. And gals, don't make me do it. No, I would never clip my queen's wings. That's just not natural. You try to manage it as best as possible. You catch them. Most of the time they go back to the same spot. You treat your bees for mites, and that way if one does get away, they're not going to infect anybody. It's not going to be a hazard. And we are also in 1,500 hectares of conservation. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna go bother any neighbors. Almost there. How you doing over there, Nicole?
Good.
Good.
she's working away like a little busy bee.
Yeah, she is a busy bee. Right on.
I should probably take them back up to the house after this.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep
One of the things I
One.
found beside my farm
down. Yeah, like-
is the neighbor has a honey locust tree,
okay.
and I'm going to tell you, my hive's empty right into that tree.
Honey locust?
Yeah,
Not
I-
black locust, honey locust.
no, the honey locust, the one that turns the leaves turn yellow in the beginning.
Cool.
I'm going to tell you, I've never seen so many bees on branches.
Wow.
I don't know, they just love it.
Maybe I should plant some.
That's what I want to do
What
on
are you
my
eating
farm.
over there?
I'm eating the plantain.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm losing my voice. It's drying out my mouth.
That's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of edible stuff. Even I'm not sure. I had somebody over here that's like a forager expert, and she was picking berries off of one of these things. Except one of the things is poisonous. And the other one is not. So I don't know if it's the vines. Can you remember if it's the vines or the trees that you can eat them off of? They're like wild grapes or something.
Yeah, it's the vine.
Yeah.
But what tree would be? Oh, maybe it's a mountain ash, because mountain ash berries aren't good for you.
No, you can cook those and eat them.
Oh, if you cook them.
If you cook them, yes. Mountain ash is edible. You can cook it.
I just found out the stinging nettle is edible.
So, stinging nettle,
For tea.
especially for the fact that you're a woman, your
Yeah.
menstrual cycle, it really raises iron in your body. It's so good for you. And what you do this time of the year is pick the leaves, wear gloves because it does
Yes.
sting you,
Yep.
dry them out really well, and then turn around and grind them into a powder. And just put it in a mason jar, and then you got that to cook with all winter. Just
Oh,
put it in your
wow.
food and cook it. It's phenomenal for your health.
Cool. I did hear it's really good for you. I just like could never imagine. I'm like, man, this hurts when I touch it. I can't imagine putting it
I
in my
know.
stomach. But I guess everything just
Well, when you cook it, you
Yeah.
won't believe if you take it and chop it up and cook it, it's like really tasty.
cool.
Really, really tasty.
There you go.
Well-
Queens acquired.
Terry, that's been a phenomenal lesson of education of what you're doing for bees.
Thank you.
And,
so glad
um,
you stopped by.
I appreciate all of your wisdom.
No problem. I appreciate all the questions.
And
Thank
Steve
you.
asked some really good questions.
you
So,
asked some amazing questions.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
so everybody in YouTube land, you will get to see a real beekeeper.